and welcome to Quays News. I'm Anna Stelfox.
And I'm Beverly Segunda. Here's what's coming up on the programme today.
Rishi Sunak has called the case an appalling miscarriage of justice, but the victims of the post office scandal are saying it's simply not enough.
Second-hand shopping has taken the world by storm, but has online taken over from physical stores?
Rugby League team Salford Red Devils have announced a partnership with the Trafford Centre.
And how difficult can it be to travel with hidden disabilities? Our top story today, ITV's Mr Bates versus the Post Office, which aired earlier this month, has exposed the effects the scandal has had on people's lives. Mohammed Rasool has suffered from extreme depression after the false accusations. Charlotte Cole reports from Tootle Drive Post Office.
A former Salford postmaster, Mohammed Rasool, worked in the post office just behind me. He discussed how he considered thoughts of suicide after he was wrongly convicted of 22 counts of theft in 2007. Mr Rasool began working at Tootle Drive Post Office in 1977 after studying at the University of Salford. But after the monetary shortfalls were found in the faulty IT system, he was suspended in March of 2005. He was wrongly accused of theft and false accounting. Mr Rasool admitted that he had a huge negative impact on his life and his family's life. Speaking on the inquiry into the scandal of 2022, Mr Rasool said, "Even though I had done nothing wrong, I felt embarrassed. I took steps back from everything and everyone." He further admitted how he struggled to work back in the post offices, facing customers he didn't even want to look them in the eye. He said, "My religion and my own beliefs stopped me from taking my own life." Mr Rasool's story was featured on Mr Bates versus Post Office series, which you can watch on ITVX.
2 people lost their lives to Storm Isha on Sunday, shortly after Storm Jocelyn hit, causing power cuts and havoc to many homes in the region. Electricity North West have said that they are working hard to restore power to more than 92,000 properties.
General Sir Patrick Sanders, head of the army, has said Britain should train a citizen army, following in the footsteps of other European countries preparing the future generation of the possibility of war.
Salford is being recognised as one of the best value cities for quality of life this year. The Quays is known for its buzz of media and entertainment and is said to expand even more in the years to come.
Online brands such as Depop and Vinted have become increasingly popular in recent years. But what about brick and mortar charity shops? Are they suffering the consequences of people monetising their wardrobes? Tiara Anglin-Main has this report.
Thanks to apps such as Depop and Vinted, buying second-hand has become a lot more commercialised than before. You would think that physical shops would be suffering because of this, but is that really the case? What do customers and staff at Charity Supermarket think?
In terms of impacting the store, I think people still enjoy going into a shop and actually looking and rooting. It's the rummage that people are after, where you don't get that online. I suppose one of the downsides of the growth of the consumer platforms is donations, because people monetize their wardrobes now.
When I was little, my mum used to take me to like jumble sales and stuff, and like car boot sales, and we used to actually like, sell things at car boot sales as well. And then I feel like the natural progression was when I was sort of allowed to go places by myself. I was like, oh my god, charity shops. I think it's more fun to go in person, because you get to like look through things and try them on and like go with someone.
I think you get more interesting things in person, because online you've got to be really sure about it, whereas in person you kind of pick up things and you're like, oh yeah, this is nice, let's grab that.
Charity Supermarket has sold 100,000 pieces of clothing in the last 6 months, and in doing so they've stopped 30,000 kilograms of items going to landfill, and they've also prevented 260,000 kilograms of CO2 emissions. So that means that by shopping second-hand, getting yourself a lovely bargain, you're pocketing that change and also becoming more sustainable. Tiara Anglin-Main, Salford Quays.
The Metrolink is one of the biggest transport networks in Greater Manchester, making the area accessible to most, but not all. Hidden disabilities are hard to identify and even harder to account for. Our reporter, Rhiannon Healy-Provost, has more.
There are around 67 million people in the UK, with around 2 million in Greater Manchester. The county's Metrolink network is well known.
But how accessible is it for those with hidden disabilities? This is a sunflower lanyard, and this is a badge from Metrolink's Please Offer Me a Seat initiative. Both are used to indicate that somebody may need extra assistance. I asked members of the public if they know what these are for.
I do not, no.
I feel like I've seen that one before.
The badge?
Yeah, and I feel like it's just for like elderly people or disabled, like to have a priority seat.
Yeah.
I have not seen that badge, the lanyard though, before.
The lanyards, the sort of hidden disability lanyards, to sort of let people know that you might have sort of further accessibility needs.
Yeah, I think there could be more done, obviously.
Yeah.
Because, you know, not everything is as accessible, and obviously this doesn't usually help sometimes because some people aren't as nice.
1 in 5 people in the UK have a disability, 80% of which have a hidden disability. That's around 10 million people. Hidden disabilities are not immediately noticeable, so with this stick, I am disabled. But without this stick, I am still disabled.
I took to the tram network to see if Metrolink's initiative works. On the first journey, I did not wear the badge but had my stick. I stood for my entire 40-minute journey. On the second journey, I wore the badge and had my stick. Again, I stood the entire 40 minutes.
Despite increasing attempts at making public transport accessible for everyone, it seems society hinders the ability to make it accessible for everyone. Brianna Neal-Cross, Quays News, Salford.
The Salford Red Devils are teaming up with the Trafford Centre in the run-up to their upcoming launch event. Earlier this week, I went to find out more. Right now, I'm here at the Trafford Centre, a place many of you guys may know and love, whereas this week it has been announced that the Salford Red Devils will be in partnership with the Trafford Centre for their upcoming season this year. Simon Layton, Trafford Centre Director, said, "We are thrilled to welcome Salford Red Devils for their season launch event at the Trafford Centre, offering a unique blend of sportsmanship and entertainment for our guests." Now, the upcoming launch event will be taking place this week on the 27th of January. It will allow fans to gain insight onto the upcoming rugby league season and, you know, have some interviews with some of the players, as the Trafford Centre's commitment is to provide their guests with exceptional experiences. They want to provide a connection with the rugby league team and the Trafford Centre community. Now, the Salford Red Devils hope to broaden their audience and engage and get more people interested into the rugby league.
Joining us in the studio is sport enthusiast Tiara Anglin-Main with the rundown of the sport this week.
Thank you very much, guys. So the stage is finally set for the EFL Cup final. So last night, following a draw against Fulham and a 3-2 win on aggregate, Liverpool will be playing in the Carabao Cup final against Chelsea on February the 25th at Wembley. It was definitely a nervy fixture for Liverpool. Of course, it ended in a draw, but all that matters is of course, the win, and I'm sure their fans will be very pleased, especially as they've had to use 5 academy players, something that you don't actually see that often in elite football. So in the FA Cup, it returns this weekend with standout ties between Newport and Manchester United, Tottenham and Manchester City, Ipswich are against Maidstone, and West Brom against Wolves. Chelsea women are through to the Champions League quarter-finals in an all but frustrating game, actually, that in the end saw the half win 2-1 against Real Madrid. Emma Hayes, the manager, said it was a boring game despite the win. And with Manchester United women, they had, of course, their Manchester derby against City last night, ended in a loss 2-1, but there is pressure piling on manager Mark Skinner to produce results and quickly. Fans are getting very, very frustrated. So, also last night in the Women's League Cup, Aston Villa won 7-0, but potentially could not qualify to go through to the next round of the League Cup due to fielding an illegible player. Noel Maritz played for Arsenal, transferred over, but they could be disqualified. And Arsenal co-captain Leah Williamson has marked her return after 280 days out after suffering an ACL rupture. The defender made her return in style during a 6-0 win over Reading, in which Williamson assisted the final goal of the match as well. So we've got it coming up here as well. Of course, bops it over to Beth Mead, and it just slots straight into the goal. So really, really good return for Leah. I'm really, really happy for her. So in the the Australian Open, the Grand Slam champion Coco Gauff was defeated by Aryna Sabalenka, who's now going through to the Melbourne final to defend her title. Carlos Alcaraz was knocked out of the Australian Open following a defeat at the hands of Alexander Zverev, who will now be playing Daniil Medvedev, whilst Novak Djokovic will take on Jannik Sinner in the semi-finals at 1 a.m. Will you guys be watching at all? Quite late for you, Beth.
It is quite late for me. But I think I will be watching this year's Open.
Yeah.
What about you, Anna?
Yeah, I've always liked a bit of the Australian Open, actually.
Yeah, quite interesting. It reminds me of summer just because of Wimbledon.
Yeah, it does. Yes,
like,
absolutely.
happy time. So yeah, looking forward to it. I'll definitely be watching. So, in cricket, India have taken control of the first test in Hyderabad on day 1 after bowling England out for 246, which included a brilliant 70 from Ben Stokes to keep them in the game before a strong India start, meaning they close on 119-1. Now in F1, it's just been announced that Charles Leclerc has signed a new contract. Such exciting news for the driver. Leclerc first started in 2018 with the team that is now named Stake F1 Team Kick Sauber. Such a wordy name. Ferrari haven't disclosed the length of the contract, but for no doubt it'll be for a few years at least. More on Ferrari, they've announced they'd like to sort of expand their brand going into sailing, which is really, really interesting. They've only announced their intentions so far, but will be teaming up with Italian racing yachtsman Giovanni Soldini to build boats and enter world sailing competitions. So looking forward to that. Ferrari said that they rely on cutting-edge technologies throughout the entire cycle, from conception and engineering to realisation of the boat. And finally, this weekend we'll see the Kansas City Chiefs play against the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC final, whilst the 49ers will host the Detroit Lions in the NFC final. These two games are going to determine which teams will go on to play in the Super Bowl, only one of the biggest sports events of the year. All teams will be hungry for a win, but the Ravens especially, as they haven't hosted a championship game since 1971. I'm excited for Taylor Swift to be there if the Chiefs make it through.
Absolutely.
I think we're all excited for Taylor Swift to be there.
And more Jason Kelsey reactions as well.
Yes, that was just brilliant.
But yeah, that is all on sport. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Tiara. And after a stormy weekend, the weather might be looking up. Our correspondent Rhiannon Healy-Provost reported earlier.
Tonight we will see heavy rain and a gentle breeze coming through with around 13 degrees overnight. Tomorrow we are expected to be sunny all day with another gentle breeze coming through. By Saturday we will have some cloud, but it's expected to warm up throughout the day through to Sunday.
And finally, festival season is fast approaching and lineups are being announced. Sam Armitage is live over at Parklife's home, Heaton Park, with more.
So for many music fans in the UK, the start of the year is always an exciting time as festival announcements get announced. I'm stood here at Heaton Park, the home of Parklife Festival, where over the weekend of the 8th and 9th of June, many fans of pop, D&B and rap music are going to be congregating to see the likes of Doja Cat, Disclosure, J Hus and Becky Hill. Now, if you're not a fan of D&B or rap music and you want a more indie feel to your festivals, then why not head over to Sheffield, to Hillsborough Park over the 26th to the 28th of July for Tramlines Festival. Now, there's no camping there, so if you want to book your hotels pretty quickly to see the likes of Paolo Nutini, Snow Patrol and Jamie T, you better get on that right now. And if you want some pop music in there as well, they are supported by the likes of Example and Tom Grennan. However, if you just want a pure indie vibe to your festivals and a family-friendly atmosphere, then why not head down to Derbyshire over the weekend of the 1st to the 4th of August for Why Not Festival. Now, headliners there include Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, Snow Patrol, Jamie T and the Kaiser Chiefs. And they're supported by the likes of Declan McKenna, The Kooks, The Vaccines and Scouting for Girls. Now, taking place finally over the same weekend in Kendal is Kendal Calling. It has a pretty similar vibe and you're going to be seeing some of the similar acts to Why Not Festival. Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds are headlining there, as well as The Streets and Paolo Nutini, with support acts such as Declan McKenna, Sugar Babes, Keane and everyone's favourite indie festival band, the Royston Club. Now, tickets haven't gone on sale yet, but will do soon, and I suggest you start saving up pretty shortly, as it's going to cost you around about £130 to £180 for a weekend ticket, depending on which festival you want to go to. Beverly and Anna, are you guys going to be heading down to some muddy fields like I'm stood in right now for some festivals in the summer?
I think
I'm not
Parklife.
sure.
Parklife, 100%.
Parklife, 100%. I'm loving the lineup.
Now, you at home can let us know what festivals you're planning to go on this year over on X at Quays News.
That's all the time we have for now on the programme today.
But make sure to join us again next week.
Bye.
Bye.